Hi guys, and welcome to today's episode of Bulucast. Just one thing before we get things started. I know I'm planning to stream tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to push it back. It's only gonna start at like 9 o'clock GMT instead of 8. So I mean it's just an hour difference, but just want to let you guys know. Again, the easiest way to follow that is probably just follow me on Twitch. I'll leave another link to my Twitch channel in the description below. But today we're going to do something a little bit different again. I have not looked through this set list, but with pre-releases going on this weekend and I don't know, probably last weekend, probably the weekend after, I figured why not have an old look at the Lost Thunder set. So I haven't looked through this at all, so it'll be my first reactions, which I don't know, could be interesting. Just remember to take everything here with a grain of salt, given that I did say that I didn't think Buzzwole was great, and I stand by that, but just not to the extent that I did. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. And I mean, straight up, that Tangrowth, if only, I say. I mean, if only we had something like Freshwater set, but to be fair, it'd still be terrible. So, but it just jumped out at me there. I mean, Robust Whip, 3 energy is it? Yeah, but with Venusaur, so it's only 2 energy. It's still pretty bad. Let's see, Skyther? No, that's terrible. I want to skip through, like any of these ones, I want to skip through with the things that evolve into stage 2s. But I'll take a look at the stage 2s. Early ripening, once during your turn, choose one basic in play. So it's just rare candy on an ability. That's actually not that bad, to be fair. If you're running like a grass deck. Its attack isn't great, but it's rare candy on an ability. It seems like it has potential. It's got potential. I don't know what you'd pair it with. Venusaur, so Solar Beam only does 2 damage. No, that's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. But it's got potential. Now this one actually, I'm going to look at this basic, Spinnerack, because Lost March people talk about. Poison and Paralyze and Pokemon and all cards attached to it into the Lost Zone. So, I mean, it's not a bad ability. Or attack even, excuse me. Could be good. And then Ariado's Trap Tread. When it says no, never mind. The defending Pokemon is just the Pokemon you've attacked. Your opponent's active, but then once it goes to the bench, then that effect is gone anyway. So what's the point? I suppose maybe does that stop Guzma? I don't know. Hoppip. Search your deck for another Hoppip doesn't seem great. Now I know Jumpluff seems to go into Jumpluff is Lost March, so what's Skiploom's ability? Search your deck for a Jumpluff and switch it with this Pokemon. Oh, okay. I mean, that's not too bad. So you're just evolving from your deck and putting 2 Pokemon into the Lost Zone. I mean, that seems like it could be good. 20 damage times, I don't know. It'll take 20. I mean, Night March was a thing. Free Retreat is nice, but I don't think it'll be as good. It's going to be more difficult to get your Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Pineco, I assume that evolves into something. What is it? Fortress. I assume it'll come later. Shuckle. Play this card from your hand onto your bench, search for 3 basic energy and discard them. Then attach 2 from the discard pile. That seems terrible. I mean, like, it could maybe to start off, like, if you're stuck. But Shuckle GX, I'll be looking at all these GXs. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon with 2 or less energy attached to them. That actually could be good. 2 or less energy. What attacks? So, Buzzwole. Uh, Buzzwole GX if they're only using Knuckle Impact. Zork. Lots of things only use 2 or less energy. Now, in fairness, you could always just attach another one, but it means you've got to commit another one. Triple Poison sounds interesting. I mean, you could put it in with no, that's probably a terrible idea. Alolan Muck. Yeah. Now, that's a terrible idea, probably. But who knows? That seems good, that Heracross. 130 if you have a stage 2. Couple it with Venusaur again. Venusaur is not that bad, guys. I'm quite a fan. Couple it with Venusaur and you're attacking for 130 for 1 energy. Oh wait, no, it's 30 plus 90 is 120 for 1 energy. Yeah, 120 for 1 energy is decent though. I mean, that's Alolan Executor numbers. 120 HP, you're probably getting knocked out fairly quickly. But I mean, if you can stream Heracrosses, that could be good. Celebi Prism Star. Any number of your evolved Pokemon in play, remove the... So wait, you just de-evolve your own Pokemon. Why? That's all I have to say on that is why, really. Trico, Grovyle, what's the ability on Grovyle? Search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Sceptile GX, 60 damage, discard a special energy. Leaf Cyclone, that doesn't seem great either. I mean, heal all damage from each of your Pokemon with grass energy. What kind of HP does it have? 230 is a big number. 60 for 1 energy, I suppose, isn't too bad. 130 for 1 if, yet again, Venusaur. And you're setting all your bench up for healing. I mean, yeah, it's got potential, I suppose. We'll see. Wurmple. Silcoon Beautifly. Skill Dive. 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Snipe is good, I suppose. 30 damage. Knocked out. Wait, what? If your opponent's Pokemon... Oh, okay. So if you... That could be interesting. Butterfly Edge. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by the damage from this attack, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. That could be interesting. Yeah, we'll see. And Dustox. Again, Dustox, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon paralyzed or poisoned. 3 damage counters for poison. Dustox Alolan Muck GX. That's all I'll say on that. But yeah, I'm so far... I mean, we're not very far into it. I know there's a lot of cards in this list, or in this set, but so far, I'm underwhelmed. Ninjask. Evolve and play this card to your bench from your hand. Excuse me. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, put a Shedinja from your discard pile onto your bench. I don't know what Shedinja does, but I suppose we'll get there. Vespiquen. Queen Command, 120 damage. If you don't have 5 grass Pokemon on your bench, this attack does nothing. I mean, no. Just no. Just go away. Shaman, heal 20 from your active grass Pokemon. That also seems bad, and no. Virizion GX is a basic double draw. Draw 2 cards. The name kinda, I don't know if it really needs an explanation. Sensitive Blade, 50 damage. Played a supporter this turn. This attack does 80 more. That seems good. 2 energy. What's 50 plus 80? 120. Where is everything? Everything seems to go for 120. Is it? Yeah, it is 120. No, it's not. It's 130. Oh, got it. Yeah, 50 plus 80 is 130. Which seems okay. Again, with Venusaur, 1 energy. Breeze Away GX. Any number of your Pokemon in play and all cards attached to them into your hand. I mean, alright, but if you're going to do that, would you not just heal them? Would healing not be better? Because I assume that's why you're doing it. I assume. I just can't think of any other reason. Go-Goat, Leaf Wallop. No, that seems terrible. Tapu Bulu not a GX, but it's a normal. 130 HP. Who doesn't love a good Tapu Bulu? Puzzle Punch, 20 damage times the number of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Wild Tackle. No, that seems bad. That seems bad. Yeah, no. I'm disappointed. Extremely so. Moltres. Assist Heater, 30 damage. Attach 1 fire energy from your hand to your bench. Fire Wing for 90 damage. Again, no. Like, that's for 1 energy, and for 1 energy I could just attach to the bench instead. Like, why would I? Seems like a waste of 1 energy, especially when it's got 120 HP. Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion. May choose to treat all energy attached to your Pokemon in play as fire energy until the end of your turn. Lost Flame, 120 damage, 2 energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon in the Lost Zone. That actually does seem good. So, hear me out. What about Typhlosion, Venusaur, Meganium? Because with Venusaur, you just run Grass energy, and that attack only costs 2 energy. Because it makes the 2 actives 4, and then with type Burning energy, you make the 4 actives fire. Does that work? I don't know if that really works. I don't know if... But I look forward to finding out. You may choose to treat all energy. So if you treat it all as fire, does that mean then that Venusaur's ability doesn't work anymore because it's no longer grass? Or does it just become fire and grass at the same time, if that makes sense? I don't know. I suppose we'll find out though. I do like the look of it. Or no. Malamar's only basics, isn't it? That's disappointing. Magcargo GX. Given that everyone's running Magcargo these days anyway. Let's see. Once during your turn, discard the top card from your deck. If that card is a basic energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. So I mean, you could run the normal Magcargo to smooth over a basic energy onto the top of your deck, and then Crush Charge to attach it. Interesting. Lava Flow, 50 plus damage. Discard any number of basic energy cards from this Pokemon, 50 more for each discarded this way. I don't like those kind of attacks. They're too awkward. Too awkward to get set back up then. Magma Burn GX. Discard the top 5 cards from your opponent's deck is always good. Houndoom. Search a card for a deck and put it in your hand is decent. And then if you've more cards in hand than your opponent, you're doing 130. I mean, very situational though. Again, I'm not overly impressed at all. Eruption could be interesting, but again, 80 plus damage, each player discards top card from their deck, 60 more for each energy discarded. I don't know. Nothing's jumped out at me. I want something to jump out at me and say, yeah, look at me, I'm amazing. But nothing has. La Heatran, 60 30 to 1. 60 30 snipe is alright, but not for 3 energy or a fire DC. And then Heat Bazooka, like 150 damage, discard the top 5 cards from your deck. Why? Why even? With 4 retreat cost, like no, never. Victini, 20 damage times the number of your basic Pokemon. I suppose it could work in some things, like a one-off in Ho-Oh uh, as a non-GX attacker, I suppose, but that's probably bad as well. Now, if your opponent has any Pokemon GX or EX in play, no retreat cost, that's decent on the old Little Leo. What does Pyro do? Sweet F all. Blacephalon, if that's how you pronounce it. Blacephalon GX. Opponent's active Pokemon is now Burned and Confused. Again, Alolan Muck GX. I'm loving the amount of status conditions we're seeing in this set. I always enjoy status conditions. You may send any number of fighting energy attached to your Pokemon in play to the Lost Zone. 50 damage times the number of cards sent in this way. See, again, you're sending energy to the Lost Zone, so you can't get that back even to set up another Blacephalon. Burst GX is interesting. Discard one of your prize cards if it's an energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. That does seem interesting, because it's like take a prize card, but it's not, because you discard it. That's interesting. Alolan Vulpix. If you have any fairy energy in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Like, that's really weird, but okay. Slowpoke, Slowking. Choose your opponent visits their hand, choose one card, put it into the Lost Zone. Yeah, that's not too bad. 20 more damage, 60 damage, and 20 more times the number of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's got potential. Maybe. Lapras. Once during your turn, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and return them to the top of your deck in any order. I mean, They kind of, like, I don't know, doesn't seem great. Like, it seems like it might be useful, like, maybe a one-off in water decks, especially with 50 and maybe paralysis. That's always interesting. Delibird is just look for Pokemon tools, and I'm just gonna skip Delibird because no. Mantine Surf, any energy attached to it, no retreat cost. So yeah, but Surf isn't great, so no, just no. Suicune. I have messed that up. Oh my god, I'm never pronouncing that again. Frozen Current. Once during your turn, this your active Pokemon. Oh, so it's like Lizond. If your opponent. Wait, it's like yeah. That's interesting, actually. Especially with one retreat cost, you can escapeboard it for free retreat, but then I suppose you've got to get it into the active first to use it, so maybe not. Although you do keep healing it, and it's got, 110 HP isn't much. And then that one I said I'd never pronounce again, GX. If this Pokemon's on your bench, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. I mean, like, only to save it not being knocked out, I suppose. Otherwise, I don't understand why you would bother. Cure Stream, 120 damage, and defending Pokemon's attacks do 30 less. That's not too bad. Grinsile GX, 150. Switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Nah, it's not great. Not great at all. Beartic, 60 plus damage. Ooh, 120 to a GX or EX. That's decent. Or 150 damage and can't attack next turn. That's crap. White Curum. No. No. 80 plus damage. 80 more if you've got fire energy. Like, suppose you could. Well, would rainbow energy work with that? Who knows? There's an idea though. Primarina. Harmonics. When you attach an energy from your hand to one, you may attach 2 energy instead. Interesting. So you just get, so it speeds you up and put your opponent to sleep. Interesting. Toxapex. Poison, or if poisoned, 50 damage times number of damage counters on it. That seems poor. Yeah, no, that's all there is to that. It seems bad. Bruxish. Track the Wounded is interesting. 60 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already has any damage counters on it. Now that could be good. Basic, 90 HP, 1 prize. Could be good. Again though, we finished both grass and water and I'm extremely underwhelmed. But we'll power through the rest of it. It's kind of funny because one of the lightning ones. I'll never do that again. Electivire. 2 lightning energy and attach them to this Pokemon. And then 190 damage and discard 3 energy. No, that's poor. Salvage. Choose up to 4 item cards in your discard. That's decent. Lantern. Get back them items. But again, it's a stage 1, so probably not. Mareep. Fluffy Pillow. You can leave your opponent's active Pokemon asleep if it's active. I mean, that's not great. Fluffy. What's Ampharos do? Put 2 lightning energy from your hand in the Lost Zone and leave your opponent's Pokemon paralyzed. Interesting. I do like that. And then do 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so I like that Ampharos, I'll be honest. Ampharos Meganium for the rare candy ability. I'm going to go back and check that I read that right, the Meganium, because I have a feeling I didn't, and I keep bringing it up. And if I didn't read it, I'd probably look like an idiot. Ooh, actually, Raikou Ampharos. Any energy in the Lost Zone, attack does 90 more damage. So I mean, you used to use Ampharos' ability to get the lightning in the Lost Zone, and then Raikou hits for 120, which is decent. Weak to fighting though. Are they both weak to fighting? Yeah, I mean, with the likes of Buzzwole big at the moment, and the resistance to metal making no difference to Raikou, makes a difference to Ampharos because it means Metagross can't OHKO it, which is interesting. Pachirisu. Overshort. 20 plus damage. Before doing damage, may discard all Pokemon tools attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. If you do, attack does 40 more damage and your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. That could be good. I mean, Choice Band, Escape Board are all doing play. People seem to have cut down on field blowers apparently. So I hear. So yeah, Pachirisu could get around field blower. Or I mean, like, could be a interesting alternative. Zebstrika. You may discard your hand, then draw 4 cards. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, no. I mean, also it's weak to fighting. I mean, discard your hand, draw 4. Yeah, it's got potential, but you wouldn't want to be using it every turn, or else you'll deck yourself out pretty quickly. Yeah, no, I'm gonna skip it. Stunfisk, 50 damage for 1 energy isn't too bad. 110 HP on a basic isn't too bad either, I suppose. Didden. No, that's terrible. Tapu Koko, Strafe. Woohoo. There we go, guys. Strafe into Puku Muku. We're sorted now. For double colourless as well. I like it. I'm going to go Puku Muku Shrine. Zeraora GX. Alright, so each Pokemon with lightning energy attached has no retreat cost. That's got promise. 160 damage, can't attack during your next turn though. That's a pain. And attach 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. That's not too bad. So I mean, it's really only... Yeah, I wouldn't put it in... Well, it could be good. We'll see. Lost March on Natu. Zatu, 30 plus damage, opponent reveals hand, 60 more if they've got any energy. For 1, no, it's not even 1 energy, it's 2 energy, so never mind. I mean, no. Espeon, draw 3 cards, or 20 times, 20 and 20 more times the amount of energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. For 1 energy, that's not the worst. Unknown. Once during your turn, this is your active Pokemon on your bench to have a combined total of at least 66 damage counters on them. You may choose to win the game. Imagine having 66 damage counters on your bench and going, nah, I won't bother winning the game here. I'll just keep going. Like, I like these unknowns though. They're really good fun. If you have at least 35 cards in your hand, you may choose to win the game. That's, yeah, I mean, how do you get to 35 cards in your hand in this format when we've got like draw supporters, judge, so you're shuffling back in the whole time. Very difficult to get up to 35 cards, which I suppose is the point. You don't want it to make it like easy to win. But yeah. Once during your opponent has at least 12 supporter cards in the loss zone, you may choose to win the game. That one's interesting, but I don't know how you would put your opponent's supporters in the loss zone. And if it became big, people would probably just try and start playing 11 supporters. Which would be quite difficult, now that you think about it, because you've got your draw supporters, you've got Guzmas. Yeah, cutting it down to under 12 would be slightly difficult, I would say. Wobbuffet. As long as this Pokemon's on your bench, each player's Prism Star Pokemon can't attack and has no abilities. I do like that, to be fair. Completely shut off Prism Star Pokemon. I'm a fan of Wobbuffet here. Girafrig, 2 cards from your opponent's discard pile and put them in the loss zone. That's how you do it. You just put you just attack 6 times with Girafrig and put 12 supporters in the loss zone. course, your opponent has to then play 12 supporters, and you have to attack 6 times without getting knocked out 6 times. But it's worth a try. Shedinja. Once during your turn, discard all cards attached to this Pokemon. Attach it to one of your Pokemon as a Pokemon tool. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out, your opponent takes 1 fewer prize cards. So what you do is, also it says you may discard all cards attached to this Pokemon, not you have to. Okay, I like this. So you just attach the Shedinja to the Girafrig so that your opponent's not taking prize cards, and then keep attacking with Girafrig to put supporters in the lost zone. That's it. I'm 100% trying that once it comes out. 100%. Fast Hunt. If you go first, you can use this on your first turn. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand on your first turn is pretty decent. I mean, yeah, that's not too bad. Once during your turn, if it's in your discard pile, play it onto your bench. Put 2 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon. That actually seems interesting. Oh, 4 damage counters on one of your Pokemon though seems bad. Yeah, I don't know. So I think like there you'd put 1 damage counter on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So what you do there is you discard it early game, and then if you get one of your opponent's Pokemon to within 10, you just can't get that extra 10. You go, well, Torn Door. And then you have to bring that bench Pokemon active, of course. Sigilyph GX. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's GX or EX, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage done to this Pokemon. Ooh, that's interesting. So you could strafe into Sigilyph GX. It's possibly a better Pyukumuku, but only against GX or EX. I enjoy that. I might, yeah. I wouldn't say better Pyukumuku. Let's look at its attacks first. Sonic Wing, 80 damage not affected by resistance. Intercept GX, 60 times the number of energy attached to your opponent's active. Alright, so I wouldn't say a better Pyukumuku, because we all know how good Continuous Tumble is. What's it called? I don't know. Maybe Continuous Tumble. Kofagrigus? Scars many of your bench Pokemon you like, 30 more damage for each. No, that seems terrible. Let's keep going. Chandelure, Curse Drop. 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Yeah, no. Meloetta, opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Flip a coin for each of your opponent that have the Sing attack, 10 times the number of heads. That seems really bad. Like, really bad. Marini seems really bad. Nihilego, it's an Ultra Beast. Can only be used when your opponent has 2 prizes remaining. Choose an attack with one of your opponent's Pokemon in play and use it as this attack. Or Empty Tentacles for Poisoned and Confused. That also doesn't seem great. But Alolan Muck GX. Pipe Hole. Look at all your face down prize cards, put them back face down. Now I like that because you don't have to shuffle them. Or at least it doesn't say that. So you know where everything is, if you can remember. Naganadel. Attach a basic energy from your discard to this Pokemon. 80 plus damage if you have exactly 3 prize cards remaining, does 80 more damage. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think it's good though. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's great at all. Onyx, 120 HP on a basic, decent. It's doing 120 for 4 energy though, and that's poor. Sudowoodo hit harder. If it was damaged by an attack last turn, does 80 more. That's pretty poor. Donphan, sturdy. Can't be O-code, which is hype. But then again, that's why you use Giratina. Put 10 on it on the bench, bring it into the active, knock it out. Problem solved. Also, that attack isn't great. Although, does that build? Like, if you rolling spin, and then you rolling spin again, that's for 140. But then, can you rolling spin again for 210? Does it, like, stack each turn? There's nothing to say it doesn't, so maybe. Hitmontop, 30 damage. Ooh. Again, Hitmontop, Pukumuku. Switch with one of your bench. Larvitar doesn't take damage on the bench. That's interesting. Pupitar. When you evolve, you may choose to have any damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's attacks reduced by 50. That's interesting. I mean, why would you choose not to? It doesn't make sense. Carbink. Put a supporter and stadium into your hand. Or guard press to take 60 and take 20 less next turn. Yeah. Again, like, nothing jumps out. Girafreaking Unknown is the only thing. That and other things to go into Pukumuku. They're the only things that have really jumped out at me so far. I do like how both Alolan Meowth and Alolan Persian don't use energy to attack. What I don't like is the 19 minus. So, like, you've got to use it against Pokemon that have no energy attached to them. And obviously your opponent's going to be attaching energy to their active. So yeah, that doesn't seem great. Umbreon Retaliate is decent, but no. Tyranitar GX. If one of your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this Pokemon's attack, put that Pokemon and all cards attached into the loss zone. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. Vicious Sandstorm, 130 damage. Each of your benched basic though, only basic. 30 damage to each of your... Oh no, each of your opponent's benched basic. I thought it was yours. That's actually better. And then Smackdown GX. I like the name already. 220 damage, not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. I like it. Big fan. Like you, Tyranitar. Now we get more Alolan Dugtrios that attack for no energy and that are still quite poor. Here's the Fortress from earlier. Flip 3 coins, 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Each of your opponent's Pokemon times the number of heads. I mean, you can do maximum 30 to each, but it is to all of your opponent's Pokemon. That's pretty interesting. And then Lost Bomber, 190 damage. Put this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into the Lost Zone. Interesting. That seems poor. Like, why? Steelix, 180 HP on a stage 2. Stage 1 is decent. Iron Tackle does 50 to itself, though that's not. That's bad. Scizor, I didn't even see a Scyther. Exoskeleton, 30 less damage from attacks. Special Blow, 60 damage. Any special energy attached to it does 70 more. That's not too bad. Dialga, 60 damage and devolve your opponent's active. Interesting. I mean, like you could potentially knock it out by getting enough damage to knock out the lower evolution card and put the highest stage back into their hand, which is really interesting. Power Blast 130 and discard 1 energy. Durant, discard the top 2 from your discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Mill is back, possibly. I hope so. Cobalion, guard press. No, that's poor. I don't like that. Genesect GX though. Let's see what this does. 2 Pokemon 2 cards to this Pokemon. Alright. Blast Bomb for 130 damage and Break Buster for 190. Don't apply resistance. That seems bad. Also, mild errand running on Magearna. Like, that's mild errand running. I don't like the name of the attack. And I don't like the attack. It's just Professor's Letter, but as an attack. Alolan Ninetales GX. When you evolve this, you may search your deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. That seems interesting. Oh wait, this is fairy as well. We've moved past the steel onto the fairies. I mean, that seems interesting. Snowy Wind, 70 damage, 70 and 30 snipe. That's decent. Sublimation GX. Just knock out an Ultra Beast. Your opponent's. That's actually quite good. I like that. I like Alolan Ninetales GX. Big fan. And they're both for fairy colorless as well. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Jigglypuff has Sing, but I still think that whatever it was called, the one with the other Sing attack, is still terrible. Wigglytuff, Inflate, Decorated Slap, Fairy Charm, it does 140. Still not great. Azumarill, top 8 cards of your deck. Choose any number of energy cards you find there and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. That's interesting. I mean, it's not terrible. Granbull, 130, 160 if you've no cards in hand. That's interesting. But you're in trouble if you have cards in hand, because Giant Fang for 110 is 3 energy, 3 fairy energy. Ralts, put a supporter from your discard to your hand. It's not too bad. Gardevoir, up to 3. Search your deck for 3 cards, put them to your hand is decent. Sensitive Ray 70, plus 90 if you've played the supporter. That's actually alright. So Gardevoir seems decent. Like, alright, no. So, Gardevoir seems good. I'll admit that. It seems good. I mean, you're doing 160 if you play the supporter, and you're playing a supporter pretty much every turn, if not every turn. So, I like this Deden as well. If heads, your opponent's active is now confused. If tails, paralyzed. That's not too bad. That's Carbink is good. Weak to metal, but that doesn't matter if you're Wonder Raying the whole time and all they have is Metagrosses. Oh, Carbink, it's got potential. Cernius Prism Star, Life Road. Once during your turn, moves from your bench to your active, move any number of energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. And Bright Horns for 160, can't use that again next turn. It's got no other attacks, so you're saying it just can't attack next turn. Ribombee, once it's on your bench, whenever your opponent plays a supporter from hand, prevent all effects of that card done to your fairy Pokemon in play. So you can't be Guzmad, which is interesting. Shinotic, it's your active Pokemon and is damaged. The attacking Pokemon is now asleep. That's interesting. And if your Dream Touch is 50, if your opponent's Pokemon is asleep, shuffle all energy attached to it into their deck. That's actually quite interesting. I like the Shinotic. I'll be honest. I'm I'm a fan of Shinatic. Mimikyu GX, Confused, 10 plus 30 for each damage counter. And then shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards. That's, yeah, no. That's just like a worse Plea GX, isn't it? Tapu Lele, attach a Fairy Charm and leave your opponent like that. No, that's bad. Tapu Fini is also bad. Yeah, no, it's bad. Uh, Chansey is bad. Blissey, remove one special condition from your active. I mean, we've seen a lot of special conditions in the set, so that could possibly be interesting. Powerful Slap, flip a coin for each energy attached to his Pokemon, 80 times the number of heads. For 3 energy, immediately you're flipping 3 coins and getting what, 80, 160, 240 possibly? Blissey seems good. Yeah, I think it's alright. Ditto Prism Star looks incredible. Just evolve into any stage 1 from your hand. I mean, yeah, it seems incredible. Now, 40 HP though, but at the same time, any stage 1. Any. I also don't know why anyone would play like this Eevee over the Energy Evolution one. Because the Energy Evolution one is just objectively better, you would think. So yeah, I don't know. Stantler, no, is bad. Smeargle, yeah. Look at your opponent's hand, choose support, and use it as the effect. That's decent. Miltank, 60 for each Moo Moo Milk card in your hand. Lugia GX, 30 plus 30 for each energy attached to your opponent's active for 3 colorless though. Watatsumi's Spear. I like the name. 170 damage for 4 colorless. And can't use it during your next turn. And Lost Purge GX. Opponent's active and all cards stashed within the Lost Zone. Okay, so Kecleon can just like change its type depending on the unit energy. Well, Trumbeak, Mountain Fairy. If this card is in your hand, you may place in the Lost Zone. If you do, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, return it to your opponent's deck. If the card is a supporter, put it in the Lost Zone instead. That's definitely going in Lost March. And then, yeah, Toucannon also looks bad, so Trumbeak is probably going to go in Lost March just to be put in the Lost Zone. And then on to the trainers, because, I mean, some of them seemed good, some of the Pokemon, none of them seemed amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but some of them seemed decent. So, let's see what else we've got. Search your deck for 2 Pokemon cards, tools, reveal them. 3 Alolan Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, no. So, Choice Helmet. 30 less damage from the attacks of your opponent's GX or EX. That's interesting. Yeah, that could probably mess up some of math on a lot of things. Maybe. Yeah, like I'd say that would see play. Although, would you play it over Choice Band? Would you rather take 30 less damage or do 30 more damage? I think Choice Band would probably still technically better. Counter gain, if you have more prizes, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to cost one colorless less. Yeah, it's not bad. Custom Catcher. If you play 1, draw cards until you have 3 cards. If you play 2, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it with their active. Yeah, that could be good. But again, you have to play 2 at once, which is quite difficult. So, although maybe not when you've got like attacks that can search for 2 items. So who knows? Electric Power. During this turn, your lightning Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage. That's pretty good. Like, that'll definitely be in lightning decks, obviously. Or if we play more Deck Wizard, it'll probably go in any deck, because the Deck Wizard sucks. Faba. Choose one of your opponent's 2 cards, special energies, or stadiums and put it in the Lost Zone. That's got potential. Special energies is could be a pain. What are the fairy charms? What do they do? Prevent all damage done to the fairy Pokemon this card statue by attacks of your opponent's grass Pokemon GX and EX. Yeah, they're so situational though. Like, they only work in certain matchups. You've got grass, psychic, fairy, dragon. Yeah, no, they're like, no, they seem bad. Because they're so situational. They only work sometimes. And other times they're just dead cards. I mean, I know. Also, like, they're not really. I don't think they're really types that make much of a difference. Maybe the fighting one. Maybe. Heat Factory Prism Star. Discard a fire energy. If you do, draw 3 cards. Yeah, that could be good. In fire decks. That could be good. Yeah. It's got potential. Kahili. Draw 2 cards, then flip a coin. If heads, put it back into your hand instead of discarding it. I mean, that's got potential too. But only because you've got the possibility of looping it forever if you continuously flip heads. So who knows? Life Force Prism Star. Heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions from 1 grass Pokemon. Again, that's actually not that bad. That's decent. But I don't know if it's worth putting in because you can only use 1. So I don't know. Lost Mixer. Put 2 cards from your hand in the Lost Zone. Draw 1 card from your deck. That's good for Lost March, obviously. Lucamine Prism Star. Can only be played if your opponent has 3 prizes remaining. Prevent all damage done to your Ultra Beast by your opponent's attacks. I mean, if you're losing, that's good to, and you're playing an Ultra Beast deck, that could be good to stall and try and come back. But again, it doesn't seem great. Search your deck for a fairy energy attached to one of your Pokemon. That seems bad as a supporter. Mix Herb. Play 1, remove a special condition. Play 2, all special conditions and 90 damage. I wouldn't bother. Moo Milk. 1 Pokemon, flip 2 coins for each heads, heal 30 hit damage. That seems bad, but you can use it with Miltank's attack. So like, I wouldn't even use it as. I wouldn't play it. I'd just keep it in my hand and keep attacking with Miltank. Morty. Can only play this card if one of your psychic Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Opponent reveals their hand, choose 2 cards you find there, and they shuffle it back into their deck. Netball. Basic grass or grass energy. Reveal it and put it to hand. Yeah. Professor Elm is going to be good. It's like Bridget, but just for 60 HP or less. So I like Professor Elm's lecture, to be fair, and I could definitely see it getting played. Sightseer. Okay. Draw cards until you have 5 in hand. Before drawing, you may discard any number of cards from your hand. That could be good. So you could completely refill your hand if you've got like 3 cards left, and Sightseer is one of them. But yeah, we'll see. Spell tag. Psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack. 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. That's decent. Yeah, I'd play that. Thunder Mountain Prism Star. Attacks of each player's lightning Pokemon cost a lightning less. Again, could be good, but is it worth it for just one? Because you can't play more than one. React Hammer. Can only be used when by the player going second on their first turn. That just seems like a waste. It does. It seems like a waste of a card in your deck. It's like you can only use it the one time. Whitney, draw 1 card, draw an additional. Draw 1 card, draw an additional 2 cards for each Whitney in your discard pile. Nah. Again, that doesn't seem great. And then Memory Energy. The Pokemon this card is attached to can use the attacks of its previous evolutions, as long as it has the necessary energy. I mean, that seems interesting. And then what are the full arts? Shuckle, Sceptile. I do like the Sceptile GX, to be honest. Virizion, Magcargo, Blacephalon, Suicune, Zeraora, Sigilyph, Tyranitar. There's a lot of cards in this. I really like the Alolan Ninetales GX. That's the one that jumps out at me most, to be honest. Well, that and the Gear Freak Unknown combo you've got going. So yeah, I like the Sceptile GX as well. The grass is probably I think possibly the best of the lot, to be honest. Also, yeah, it is just once during your turn. It's not. I don't know why, but once I kept going, I thought it might be when you evolve it, but that'd be really bad. So it is. So Meganium, Sceptile GX. Where is the Sceptile GX gone? Here we go. Meganium, Sceptile GX, and maybe even Venusaur. You don't even need Croviles, but I would play it just for the ability, just in case. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a good set. There's a lot in it. There's not a lot that really jumped out at me. The Meganium is good, and the Sceptile GX I really like. And my favourite card in the whole thing is probably the Alolan Ninetales GX. But other than that, I mean, I'm definitely trying Gear Freak Unknown, Shedinja. But other than that, I just don't know. They don't seem great. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Also, that artwork is alright too. Anyway, I'll finish it there because it's been an hour, and yeah, by far the longest of my videos. So streaming tomorrow. I'm going to push it back to start at 9. You can find a link to my Discord, not to my Discord, Twitch thing. Yeah, a link to my Twitch in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this set review, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.